When was that? When did that dream start for you wanting to be on TV?
Probably when I was little. I was like, I can't believe this is a job. It's so easy to like be in front of a camera. I can't, like, how can I convince people that this is like a gig? I wanted to do like E-News. I wanted to be like on a red carpet. And I have been there and I've done that. But sports kind of just like yanked me.
Yeah.
I bartended. That was it, you guys. I bartended and waitressed these like slow ass happy hours at Willie's Pub and Pool in Columbia, Missouri. And Willie's, yeah, loved it. Willie's Fieldhouse. And I would have like regulars and they'd be watching sports and I was just interested. I was interested in like pushing regulars' buttons and getting them drunk in the middle of the day. And we would just like watch sports. And one of my, there we go. There's Fieldhouse. On Broadway there in Como. One of my regulars was like, there was a couple things where like, I have to be so honest, like the energy of sports just pulled me. Like I had different people and then SiriusXM was launching a fantasy sports radio channel. And they were like, you should try out to be the update person. And I was like, no, I think I want to do entertainment. But I at that point, I had to explain like at that point in life, like in 2012-ish, 2011, you're like, I will do anything to be on the air. Like I will do anything for airtime. You are begging people to because at that point you didn't have like YouTube where you're getting an audience yourself. Like you had to like get somebody to let you on the air. And I would do anything. So for like midnight to 6 a.m., I would do updates on radio and I would do updates on sports radio and I would do anything. And then I kind of got into it. And it kind of took off from there. So a lot of luck, but like really, yeah, that's me covering boxing. Like, you think I knew what I was doing covering boxing in London? No, but was I on a flight with Sugar Ray Leonard on a private jet traveling from O2 back to New York? I was, and it was crazy. I would say yes to anything to get on the air and get those reps.
When you look back, what were a couple of the biggest breaks where you're like, I'm glad I fucking said yes to that, or I'm glad I reached out about this conversation,
or said no to something?
Yeah.
I didn't say no to much.
Really?
No, I really did. It was like the air was like currency. It was. I didn't care what it cost. I didn't care whatever. Like losing money on air. Like I would do things for like Bleacher Report. That, you know, like anything that I could do in that. But that's how you meet like Adam Lefkoe or Chris Sims, or you have the opportunity to do. There's nothing I regret as far as airtime, which I guess I'm blessed to say. So I'm grateful for that. My big break. I mean, Good Morning Football, but Good Morning Football doesn't happen without a guy, an executive at NBC Sports hearing me on SiriusXM Sports Radio because he's a fantasy football freak in the heyday, the peak of fantasy football. And he would like drive back and home for work on the East Coast. I knew I wanted to be in New York, but I didn't know how to get there. And he would listen and be like, this girl's good. She's great. Like, why don't you come up here and do this sports show with Mike Florio? Because like when NBC Sports Network was a thing. Yeah. And I got to do that. And an executive liked me on the air and pulled me and said, we'll give you this money to come move to New York and do radio updates. And I was like, I'm doing that, did that, lived on couches, fixed my teeth, and then went and banged on every fucking door at NBC that I could to like try to get on TV. And eventually did, which is great.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How did
And then somebody when I was at NBC Sports, there was a man named Michael Davies, the guy who did, you guys know him at all? He did,
sounds familiar.
Yeah, he created Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in the US, like hired Regis to do that, did FS1, remember that? When Regis was on that, Katie Nolan, all of that. And he would be at NBC doing Premier League soccer, Men in Blazers. They were like the OGs of like, we're going to do our own thing, content creation. And he was
did a show here in Nashville in like 2016.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. And they would like sell out. They were doing this stuff before anybody. Look at that lighting. I wasn't a diva enough to complain about it then. Look at that. But that was up in New England. I did a show for Boston. I was just saying, I was like I just tried to like say yes to as much stuff as I could. But he liked me, and he was this British guy who was like, I think that we could do a better show or a great show for football. What should we do? And then it became this thing of And that's how Good Morning Football happened. Yeah.
Were you like the first domino piece? What domino piece were you as far as like the 4 original hosts of Good Morning Football?
I think I was the first.
You were the first. So this British guy comes up to you. He's like, hey, I think we can do an amazing show.
I had known him for a while, and it's like, what does this look like?
Mm-hmm.
What does this, is it 2 people? Is it 3 people? Is it 4? Is it a morning show? Is it not? And I was like, Michael, you don't know anything about football. How are you going to convince NFL proper and media to let you like create their morning show? And he somehow did. And yeah, we were like, yeah.
That is wild.
Look at how cool it is.
Where was Kyle and Peter at this time? How did
Kyle, I think, was at Jim Rome.
Okay.
Being his producer, Jim Rome's producer. Peter, I think, was doing Fox sideline and writing and doing stuff for Fox. And Nate was at NFL Network, I think. I think that is our second. I think that is a photo of maybe our first week on the show.
Man, that is probably crazy to look at.
It's awesome.
What is a gig?
Look how tall Schrager is. Schrager's the tallest man alive. He's like truly.
Taylor's pretty tall.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, like, I feel like people don't expect Schrager to be that tall. But he's tall. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, what was the gig you hated the most?
Probably like radio updates. When I moved to New York, that was I'm just reading that. How do you guys not get distracted? Do I have ADD? Cat's like, yes, you do. Undiagnosed, under-medicated. But I keep looking at this.
Shows and Sherm will just be Googling the most random stuff.
No, and I'm just like really I literally could never. I would be so distracted by that. If I hear like a crinkle of something in studio, I'm like, I can hear that.
Sherm brought something up and it says Peter Schrager is literally a 6'5" broad-shouldered Chad.
I don't know what that means, but he's a tall drink of water, that Peter. Sorry, what was the question? Oh, the gig I hate. So when I moved to New York, my job was, and I just said yes to anything. I was like, yes. Like, get me out of St. Louis. I was just done.
Damn.
I know.
Shots in Missouri. Shit.
No, I mean, I loved it, but I wanted to move on.
Yeah.
I like the Cardinals too, right?
Yeah, I like somehow miraculously when they won their World Series in 2011.
What a ride.
The David Freese of it all. I loved it, but it wasn't like, look at that. It wasn't what kind of a spray tan. Have you guys ever had a spray tan?
Never.
I have not.
You've never had a spray tan?
I laid in a tanning bed and got the little sticker on my hip, but
you did.
You got the sticker on the hip?
The Playboy bunny, the palm tree. What did you pick?
Homecoming king. We had to get ready for the parade.
None of your boys have ever had a spray tan. I'm liars.
Whenever my wife does a spray tan at the house, there's always something.
It's the worst, and it smells so bad.
And they do I'm very tan there. I went into a tanning bed in Bradenton, Florida, and it was
Taylor,
me, Zach Martin,
a
handful of Trent Murphy. Like all of us were like, hey, it's dead of winter. The tone tatted or tan, you got to pick one.
I would be in the tanning bed every day at Mizzou. Gary Pinkel used to use the place I used to go. Yeah, to get my tan. God, that was like, I could not have made dumber decisions. But anyway, so I moved to when I moved to New York, it was like, go to this booth, imagine like a little voiceover booth from 5 to 10 p.m. in Times Square of all places, which is like a hellscape anyway. And I'd go and I'd be by myself and do these radio updates. So like every 30 minutes, like, here's the scores, here's what's going on. And I would just I don't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be, and I don't really there wasn't like someone there to produce for me. So I would just write up these, and they had to be, it's kind of hard to say like, you have 30 seconds to spit all this stuff out. And it was NBC Sports Radio was my gig. And I would say like Patrick Roy instead of Patrick Waugh. I would say like no, like I would really F up. Like I would, and
Jordan Mailata.
Yeah, or like, why? What's that one?
Jordan Mailata is a quarterback for USC, and I was like,
It's not Jordan.
Jaden Mailata, right?
Oh my gosh.
And I was like on our gambling college show, like,
Got it.
Jordan Mailata, he's only got 4 interceptions this year, but everyone's like, what are you talking about?
So that wasn't my favorite gig because it was like reporting. It was legit like, and the score, the end. No, that's not me. So,
radio voice.
Yeah, like really broadcasty, which was never really my vibe. But then like Sirius XM I loved because that was my first thing I got to do. I had a show called Live in the Fantasy, and it was Sunday, and I got to give credit to Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio for letting me do that. Like, who the fuck? I did. And I give a lot of credit to like Matt Deutsch and Steve Cohen and the guys that are running SiriusXM Sports then, because they were like, you're good enough to carry your own thing. Do this on Sunday nights. And I'd be at SiriusXM with like, the whatever. That's like a wild world. But pull up that picture bigger. I look like I'm 12 years old.
Just fired up to be there.
And I would and we did,
And like, yo, you're good enough to carry the show. You got it.
Yeah, they let me do it. And I almost didn't, when you talk about like betting on myself, like I almost didn't get it. I was like, I didn't get that I was getting to do this really cool shit, which I'm really grateful for.
Yeah.